Welcome back to the Science of Peace. And today we have a special guest, Lordine Jean-Francois.
Thank you for having me.
Welcome.
Absolutely.
You want to let the people know, give a brief introduction of who you are and what do you do?
Okay. Again, my name is Lordine Jean-Francois. I am first generation Haitian American. My parents are from Port-au-Prince, Haiti. I am a licensed clinical professional counselor. I am part owner of Better Days Counseling based out of Atlanta. And really my work is just about helping people remember who they are. So that's why I'm here, and that's why I'm here today.
Helping people remember who they are.
Absolutely.
So today we want to talk about fear. Some people use the acronym forget everything and run. False evidence appearing real. What was the one that you gave me from before? It was a positive way of looking at it.
Feeling excited and ready.
What was that again?
Fear. Feeling excited and ready.
Hey, that's like two different perspectives right there. And that's kind of like key with what we were talking about with fear, and really just anything in relation to life, especially, we always talk about the law of attraction and abundance and all of that. And it's really all about your perspective.
Absolutely.
So fear, one perspective is forget everything and run. And then another perspective is
feel excited and be ready.
hello. And it's really about choices. Which one would you rather have? What perspective would you rather have?
Absolutely.
Which one gives you the most,
power?
The most power.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Which one allows you to stand in your power?
Yeah.
And which one doesn't?
Yeah.
And go ahead.
And which one moves you forward? And which one holds you back?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So Better Days Counseling, we're going to put the link in the bio. Definitely. Mental health matters.
Absolutely. Black mental health matters. For sure.
All right, so I want to talk about, I'm going to bring up some info from a book that we are reading. Well, you put me on to this, Mr. David Hawkins. This is one of his books, Transcending the Levels of Consciousness. And what book are you reading?
I am actually holding Letting Go, another book by David R. Hawkins. But currently I'm reading Devotional Non-Duality. That's also written by Dr. David Hawkins. So we're on a Dr. David Hawkins kick. And as you listen to this SOP, hopefully it resonates with you and you'll understand why.
Absolutely. And so one of the things that we found kind of fascinating was how Dr. David refers to the calibration levels of human consciousness.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yep.
And so he actually lists a level and the number that it correlates to in relation to human consciousness. Can you while I find it, can you briefly talk about that?
Yeah, sure. So Dr. Hawkins is well known for his work on consciousness research, spirituality research. He has a PhD and he's a doctor of philosophy. So essentially what he discovered as part of his research using the technique of kinesiology, which is the technique of muscle sensitivity to what is truth versus what is false. As a result of his research, he learned that there are different levels of consciousness, and along with those levels of consciousness are certain emotions that can either make the body go weak or make the body go strong. And so those levels of consciousness that weaken the body usually require use of force to make things happen, whereas those emotions or levels of consciousness that strengthen the body usually operate from a position of power. Which is more about attracting what you want instead of feeling the need to will what you want or to force what you want to happen. So that's it in a nutshell.
Speak that talk, honey. Let me stop.
Crazy.
All right, so I just want to go over this real briefly so you can understand when we're talking about when we start calling out numbers or whatever. So this is his the correlation of levels of consciousness and the rate of happiness. So at the top is like the 700 to 1000 range, which is like enlightenment, and then if you scale down, we have shame is where it begins, and he gives it a calibration level of 20. So from shame to guilt to apathy to grief to fear to desire, anger and pride and courage. And I want to talk about courage briefly because courage gives a calibration level of 200. And this is where he references is the beginning of how does he refer to courage?
The beginning of tapping into your power.
Yeah.
So the moment you step into courage, that's when you start to tap into your power.
Yes. And so those feelings that are below that 200, kind of correlate to like a lower frequency, pretty much. Yeah, lower vibration. And so from courage is the beginning of the higher calibrations, and then we go into neutrality, willingness, acceptance, reason, love, unconditional love, joy, peace, and enlightenment. Yeah. And just so you know that love correlates at about a 500, and unconditional love correlates at about a 540. Yeah. And this is the kicker here is that when he breaks down how basically how the whole world calibrates, but it's pretty obvious, but to hear it in numbers, he says that the significance is that the consciousness level of close to 80% of the world's population is still below 200 and therefore dominated by primitive animal instincts. Damn, 80%? 80%
of the population.
The world population calibrates below 200.
Yeah. Which explains a lot of what we see in the world today. What we're talking about is the difference between operating from a scarcity lack mindset and an abundance creativity mindset. So with much of the world calibrating below 80%, what you see that look like is a attachment to things, to accolades, to things that we think will make us feel better, but really what we're trying to avoid is feeling unpleasant emotions. But there's benefit to feeling unpleasant emotions. As you become aware of those unpleasant emotions, that's how you increase your awareness, and that's how you proceed to calibrate to those higher levels of consciousness. But we're too busy avoiding and resisting and suppressing and repressing. Yeah, so as I was saying, we're so busy repressing, suppressing, resisting emotion. And what that actually does is it causes more of that emotional energy to build up inside of us. Because what are emotions? Emotions are simply energy in motion. And by engaging in all of those activities I just mentioned, we're preventing ourselves from really feeling that energy, allowing that energy to pass through our body, which, as I stated, allows us to proceed to those higher levels of consciousness.
Absolutely. And it's all a necessity. It's all like what Abraham would talk about. Yeah. It's the contrast is the fine tuning. Knowing that everything is working out for you and it's okay to feel those emotions, but to observe them. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Observe those emotions and allow them to pass.
Absolutely.
And it's super important, especially in relation to the law of attraction and abundance, and when you're trying to manifest things. And so fear can be useful, and you just have to kind of change your perception, change your perspective about it. And so how can you use fear to help you? Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah. How can you use fear as a motivator? And what fear usually implies is that there's something more that you want, but maybe you're not sure that you're able to attain it. So how can we use all of our emotions really to move us forward and to grow? And hopefully that's some of what we'll continue to talk about, you and I, on these
Better stop looking at me like that, girl. But thank y'all for tuning in to The Science of Peace, and we'll be back.
Yeah. Love and light.
Peace. Drop comments down below, anything that you relate to, and share.
Absolutely.
Peace.